I'm sure most of us have already encountered team commercials on social media sites that target us based on our interests, search history and whatnot. Fret not, this is not going to be a VPN sponsorship segment. I'm talking about all the banners and web stores with goodies of dubious origins, merch where you can't really decide if it's officially licensed or not, but they look so intriguing that you can't help but want to buy them. As you may have already guessed, I'm really into anime and manga, Star Wars and Harry Potter, and I often see these cute little dioramas that play along these themes, like witch huts, bookstores, seemingly looking like from Harry Potter but also kinda different and still costing a lot. My friend Raya, whom I think I've already talked about in past videos, bought one of these, but they were so tiny that it was almost impossible to assemble. So we made a plan. If we can't find dioramas in proper size for an affordable price, we are going to make one ourselves with blackjack and hookers. Okay, without the hookers. We really did not know where to start. We made a few sketches about the full house, then a room, and quickly realized that we don't even know what size we should be planning for. Then, out of the blue, she found in a local Pepco store these... I don't even know what these are. I think you can put flower pots or other decoration on them. We fell in love with them and decided to start small with a witch's corner. We wanted to make it as natural as possible, so Raya went out hiking with her children and they collected some awesome tree barks that we could use as walls. It felt really organic. They are quite heavy, so I drilled and pinned them and glued them to the bases, leaving a little space between the two barks for the fireplace later. The idea was to use already existing little things as much as we could that we have hoarded at home from our various hobbies, to see what we can fabricate from them in a creative way. So we planned a kitchen-like corner with a fireplace and a cauldron, with a larger shelf for books and all sorts of witchy things as decorations, plants, pots, animals and so on. For the cauldron, we first tried to cover a plastic medicine jar with air-dry clay, but unfortunately it cracked, so I looked for a 3D model and printed one for each of us. I will be linking the model from cards3d.com down below. One of the most time-consuming part was building the fireplace. Raya took it upon herself to cut and form little bricks from the clay, and placing them one by one, row by row, gluing them together with something I found in my under-the-sink cabinet. I think it's used for drywall repairs. We really threw in everything we thought we could use later. As for the fireplace, we wanted a natural, shabby, rustic look. Something that seems like it was done by a layman, or by the witch herself, as they usually lived out in the woods alone, away from the towns and possible craftsmen. It was a multiple hour-long process, so in the meantime I designed and made 2 bookshelves and created about 20 little books for it. We used other small items, like a stamp we found in a local paper craft store that looked like a jar with an animal inside, Raya's one actually had a beast-like fish in it. She really let her creativity loose because she made a fortune-telling glass ball with beads as decoration. Also, she used her daughter's plastic bird-like earrings from a Kinder Surprise egg to make it into a phoenix, which I painted, and she created a tail from knitting threads. She even used her crochet skills to make a nest for the bird with brass beads as eggs. She soaked the torn medicine paper in tea later that we could use as parchments. She came up with the idea to use wool as the smoke coming out of the chimney and filled the cauldron with the same material to make it look like something is cooking. Brilliant. She really was the creative force behind the project while I was trying to do the handiwork. We used a plastic shoelace tightener as a cast iron pan. I glued it on the wall. We made some large eyeballs in a jar as well to make it look spooky. I found a little cat figure in one of the arts and crafts stores that I usually frequent, and I thought, if you do not have a black cat, are you even a witch? So I had to buy it. I created an L-shaped pergola for each diorama that served as a wall and roof for the room, but it was also kinda open so it did not block out the light either. On the side, we used plastic flowers and leaves with some red beads glued to acorns that looked like some delicious fruits hanging from the top. Once I was done painting the fireplaces, we could start positioning all the small elements on the base. We glued most of it to its final place to prevent them from falling off. I decorated the fireplace and the wood bark with artificial moss that I had left from the dice tower and attached a couple of lovely red mushrooms here and there just to give it a little color. final task was to carefully attach a fairy light to it, twisting and twirling it around various objects. We have hidden the switch with the batteries behind the broomstick, which is a stump of a corn from a cornfield. I think it's barely noticeable. It ends on a shiny, sparkly crafts ornament. We don't even know where it was from or how it could be used otherwise. It just looked like a little lamp or lantern, so the fairy light illuminates it perfectly. Raya had little wooden boards laying around in her supplies, so she used them to paint a little potion sign. So cute. And there it is. This is mine. I took it home. Hers was left with her. It took about 4 days to make, minus the times when we had to cook, take the kids to school, etc. It's eclectic and quirky, but it's completely our own, crafted largely from whatever we found at home or bought literally from dimes. The only real expenses were the 2 bases, which were about $5 or euros each, and the clay, from which we used about 2 or 3 kilograms, which is about $20 in total. Of course, if you do not have the plastic flowers, beads, threads and other materials we have stocked up, the costs can be higher, but we finally could use all these things that we were just waiting to be in a project like this. We are already planning the next diorama, which is likely going to be a fairy cottage or a fairy room, but we are not sure about the design yet. But we are very excited and we will definitely share it with you too. Thank you for watching this passion project of ours, and stay tuned for future videos.